What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to the Nickatina Show. We're live, and that's right. Tonight is called Nickatina Live. We're going to be talking about some topics. I got my best friend here, Ryan Zieberfett, and we're ready to rock. And one of the things that we want to talk about was we want to talk about a new show that's on Disney Plus.
Yeah,
called The Acolyte.
The Acolyte. That's so just the name itself. There used to be a guy on YouTube called something Acolyte, and he just always tried to break down shows, and then he finally just got fed up and left.
He got fed up and left.
He just got fed up and left because it was during the when episode 7, 8, 9 were coming out in theaters, and he was trying to like defend the way that these writers or whatever were coming up with how the Jedi and how that lore works and everything. It just didn't make any sense. He was some acolyte. I forget what the fuck his channel was. It was like the Jedi Acolyte. I don't know. But anyway,
the Jedi Acolyte.
But it was interesting the shit that he would say, because I was like, oh, you know what? He's speaking a whole shit ton of nonsense, but I understand their mindset now through his eyes.
Well, there you go. There you go. So we're talking about The Acolyte. We're going to talk about some DC news that's been popping up about James Gunn's Superman movie that Ryan is not hyped to see whatsoever. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about a little Zack Snyder news about him coming back to WB to work on a 300 prequel series, which I think is really cool. I want to see it. I like it. I want more. If you tell me, okay, if we're talking about Zack Snyder 300, okay, yeah. My answer is yes. Yes, absolutely. I don't care. 100%. Yes, 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 yes. Yes.
Yeah! That was legitness.
Yeah, it was. Huh?
Legit.
It's been a while since I've seen that. But yeah, I'm excited for it. I mean, half-naked dudes running around again.
But it was the thing, though, was that you got all these fans who were like, oh, no, fucking boycott WB. He can't go back there. Why would he go back there? He can't go back there. It's kind of like, dude, let the guy do his fucking work.
Yeah.
Has he ever told you boycott WB? He hasn't. He did say suck it WB, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, but that was just it was a funny thing. It was a happenstance because of situation, and that's kind of it. Dude, the guy's he's gonna work, and he's not gonna boycott anybody, and nobody should boycott. And it's like, dude, either consume the media or don't.
Yeah, exactly. And so I want to see more 300 prequels, anything, series, movie, whatever you want to call it, with Zack Snyder. Because fucking, why wouldn't I? That shit was badass. Now, we talk about 300 Part 2, Rise of an Empire. It was just all right.
Yeah,
it was entertaining. Yeah, I mean, did you see the movie?
No, I didn't. I was like, I'm not interested. The Xerxes thing? Was that it? Are there two of them, or is it just one?
I think
it was like Rise of an Empire. I think the other one was called like Xerxes or some shit. And I was just like, I wasn't interested. 300 was cool, but the other stuff that came out afterward, didn't get my attention, so I didn't watch it.
Neither did I. I was like, oh, I mean, I saw Rise of an Empire. It was cool, but I thought 300 was way, way better. You could tell there was a huge difference. In fact, when I watched it, this is how I reacted when I watched Rise of the Empire after I watched 300.
This is bullshit.
God, it's been so long since I've seen these clips. Oh,
I know, right?
So many memories.
So one of the things I want to do here, guys, is also, I want to try and do a Nickatina Live with Ryan on Saturday nights. And sometimes it might be us gaming, but I'm going to try and do more of these more often so we can kind of catch up, talk about the news, and kind of just fucking talk and hang out and see what's up with you guys. Guys, remember to check out www.nickatina.net. That's the website that's connected to the show. Memberships are available on the show, also through YouTube as well, also on Patreon as well. And you can check all that out if you go to nickatina.net. You'll be able to join the I can't even talk. You'll be able to join the community for the channel, which I post news and updates and shit all day long. and it's really fun. Ryan's on there as well. Not as active, but he is on there. So if you
I am on there.
And coming soon to Nickatina.net. If you download the Collab app, that's what allows you to be on the community from your phone or mobile device. Coming soon, we're gonna have a live chat on there. So similar to what we have on Twitter, we have the group chat. There's gonna be one on the app as well, which is gonna be really cool. Then we can just interact and share shit all day long. And so check out Nickatina.net. It's really cool. And all my channels are on there. All 3 of my channels are on there. So check out all 3 channels and then join the community as well, because I'd love to hear from you. Okay, so when we talk about, the whole 300 thing, I think, if you got a problem with Zack Snyder going back to WB to make 300, then fucking you need to get over it. I'm so sick of this whole narrative of like, no, he can't go there. No,
look,
no.
He's got a good deal at Netflix. He's got that first look deal for however long, whenever that expires, and that's good on him. And you know what? Netflix can't really touch, 300 because Warner Brothers owns it. Just hey, if he's got time, he's doing his the gods thing, whatever with who is that? Is that with Netflix as well?
Netflix. J.O. Lee was attached to that as well. So it's what's it called? Twilight of the Gods. Twilight of the Gods.
Twilight of the Gods. He's got other projects that he's sort of getting attention for, and if this is just something else, then great, dude. I mean, you only have a certain amount of time in your life that you can like release shit and do shit in your life, man.
Absolutely.
And, if you're gonna spend your time, just like closed off, you're not gonna get that much media out, and you're just gonna end up, look at fucking George Lucas. He got like, a couple things outside of Star Wars completed, and he had more projects that he wanted to do, but just couldn't do it. And now he's too old, and who gives a shit? His time is over. So, and as you can see, without George, you see what they've done to his legacy.
It's crazy too, because he was a part of project. What's up, RJ? He was a part of projects like Indiana Jones, and he was executive producer. Willow,
Labyrinth. He was a part of. What else was he a part of? Captain EO.
Yeah, Captain EO. Oh boy, he was supposed to direct that. You know that he was he was supposed to direct Captain EO. That was the agreement. And then I forgot the reason why, but he had to drop out of it. And so they ended up hiring Francis Ford Coppola to direct Captain EO.
George, yeah.
Yeah, and so then he ended up directing it. And of course, Coppola directed, what was it? Platoon, The Godfather. So, he ended up taking Bram Stoker's Dracula.
He did do that with Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves. God.
Keanu, I'm sorry. Like, I like Keanu, but he ruined the movie for me. Like, dude, Gary, not Gary. God, what was his name? Gary Oldman. Yeah, that's his name, Gary. He was fantastic as Dracula.
This is Brad. I mean, not Brad. Brad just I got a notification from Brad. This is RJ filling us in on everything that's coming out from Netflix next year.
Tomb Raider. What?
Tomb Raider. It's an animated series.
Ghostbusters. Is that animated?
I don't know. I have to check.
After that last movie, man, they got to regroup because Afterlife is far superior than Frozen.
Oh yeah, Frozen Empire was like partway through it. Actually, no, I should say after the first Ghostbusting scene in the beginning. I was like, okay, that spelled it out for me. I was like, I know exactly what kind of film this is.
Yeah.
Shit, that sucks. They went commercial. They're like, yeah, let's get the kiddos involved.
Yeah.
Let's get the mom driving, It's just like, oh god.
It's having like a family spat in Ecto 1 as they're chasing this dragon thing through the city. I was like, oh, come on, dude.
It's so lame,
This is
dude.
silly.
It's very lame. Let me tell everyone we're live.
A lot of good animation coming from Netflix in the year. What's coming out from Netflix?
From Netflix?
Yeah, as far as animation.
Netflix? Well, everything right there. Terminator, it looks pretty cool.
It's animated?
No, I think it's live action. No, it's animated because it's
Okay.
What's his name?
John Connor.
Jean Connor. No, they just hired somebody to do the voice of Terminator. I forgot his name.
Arnold
It
Schwarzenegger.
wasn't Timothy Oliphant. Maybe it was.
To
Anyway.
voice the Terminator?
Yeah. That's all animated coming out this year. I think Ghostbusters further down the line, so maybe next year they only showed concept art of it. Yeah, I mean to do a animation for Ghostbusters, that's cool. I'll definitely check
the
that
last
out.
time we had a good animated series for Ghostbusters was, in fact, the real Ghostbusters. And unfortunately, I mean, okay, so and that's what Frozen Empire felt like. It felt like it was sort of trying to be the animated series. And I was like, nah, dude, you don't do that with live action. Keep the silliness in animation and give us something better live action. I don't know, man. God, Frozen Empire had so much potential.
It did, and then it just shit the bed. It just shit the bed.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to say it.
Extreme
so-
Ghost. That's right. Extreme Ghostbusters. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, Egon.
So-
was crazy.
Let's talk about the Acolyte. The Acolyte premiered this past week with a 2-episode premiere, and thank God it was 2 episodes, because if it was 1 episode, I would have been like, actually,
Yeah.
if it was 1 episode, this would have been my reaction right here.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you.
We don't care.
I have to agree with you. Like, after the first episode was over, I was like, man, okay, I'll watch the second one. Maybe it gets better. The
Vocalite. I'm sorry, people hate when that's brought up, and so do I. You know, I hate bringing up woke politics, but I'm sorry, but like anything that's Disney Star Wars these days, it's like it's so woke. It's the point where it's like, oh my God, I get it.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
make a story.
They need to dial it down some.
They need
you
to
know what I
dial
mean?
it down.
Look,
it's like you're not
I get it.
impressing
They
anybody.
have values that that they want to implement into their stuff, but I mean, it's just when they do it, they make it blatant and it seems forced, and
It
that's
seems forced. It does.
And
It
I
doesn't
don't-
seem organic.
yeah, exactly. It's just not. God, dude.
I'm almost at a point now that when I'm watching Disney Star Wars,
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for it. I'm waiting for something woke to
Yeah.
come at me like any
Yeah.
second now. Any second now.
Yeah.
The day you lost everything. The day you lost your moms. It was your mothers or whatever. I was like, what? What? Like, okay. Like, what can
And
you
then
say?
later on in the show, they did say, they mentioned it again about they're like, you lost your family or some shit like that. I
Well,
was like,
yeah,
oh,
is it? It's like,
and then that old lady comes in. What's your family name?
what's your family name? Skywalker. Like, oh God.
And I'm sorry, but I thought it was cheap. I thought it was cheap to go the twin route and to use the same actress for both. I was like, okay.
You know,
I
think
when they were little girls and they were 2 distinct different girls, and I was like, that can still be twins. You don't just hire another actress that is similar build and maybe looks or sounds the same and just use that. Don't use the same actor. That's dumb. And that's cheap.
RJ writes, supposedly episode 3 is going to be the most controversial episode of the entire season. So I'm wondering what the fuck is inside the episode that some people saw and compared to the Last Jedi levels. Okay, so if that's the case, then I'm sure the Asian guy's going to die immediately. It's like
No, he's the only one in the
he's the
series
best part of the show.
that like and that's what what's so funny and as I was watching it I was like, okay, I heard people were talking about how he learned English very short term or whatever, and
He's
and
very
I guess
short, yes.
and just learned to deliver his lines, and I was like, dude, this guy that came from a different country that couldn't speak English is doing better than all the English speaking actors in the fucking show. What? That tells you something right there. Like, this guy gets it, and
It's
he doesn't
funny
even
because
speak our language.
And here's the thing too is that he adds a level of he adds layers to the show because of his accent, because of the way he carries himself. He adds more to the show.
Yeah,
The other guy with the dreadlocks, that guy needs to fucking go, dude. That guy is the most vanilla character I have ever
they
seen.
did not give him good writing, and they didn't give him good motivation. And what's up, Anthony? And they didn't. It just he his character just misses the mark completely.
Completely.
There's no reason for the for his shirt to be off. I mean, is that woke or non-woke or what? What is that?
That wasn't even anything. That was just dumb.
Like a shirtless Jedi. Like, when's the last time we saw Ewan McGregor? Like, oh, sorry, 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 Liam. I
didn't see you there. I was just doing the bob.
Yeah. But yeah, there's just so many problems with the series. The only thing, one of the things I liked about it was when they got out on top of the ship. I did like the Trade Federation people. They kind of reminded me, or very reminiscent of the episode 1, aliens or whatever the hell from the Trade Federation.
Oh yeah, okay. That was cool to see them again.
Yeah,
and it made sense to see them again because we're in the past where they were more prevalent. So that made sense. Yeah. I mean, in the later movies, even in the fucking sequel trilogy, we never saw any of them. They don't exist anymore. They're just off in space doing their own thing, which is like okay. I don't know why it has to be like that for, but whatever.
But right off the bat, I didn't like the opening sequence, the fight sequence, and all that. I was like, that seems very unnecessary.
Oh, you mean with Carrie-Anne Moss?
Yes.
Okay, so
it was like attack me, and she's like sitting in the back end of the table, like in the corner, and I'm like, okay, hold on, let me scooch over. I mean, I'm gonna get you.
Jump down. I have to get out. I have to fight this lady.
She challenged me.
Come at me with all of your might. It was just kind of like, what?
Really? Yeah, that's exactly my reaction. I was like, where'd that come from? I was like, what's going on here? And then all of a sudden, I mean, they had really good wire work. I'll give you that. When she would like jump from the downstairs to the upstairs, I was like, ooh, that's actually a pretty cool maneuver.
But here's my problem with that though, is that when you saw Carrie-Anne Moss, right? I think her acting and the way she portrayed herself, great, 100%, knocked out of the park. But again, it's like you brought her in here to do kung fu because you saw her in the Matrix.
Well, not only that. They did the fucking slow-mo. They did the fucking slow. Yeah, I was was waiting for an exact camera wraparound or whatever. I was like, wait a minute, where's that Matrix shot? But they did the slow-mo, and I was like, dude, you don't make it Matrix Jedi. I was like, dude, that's just a gimmick. And
here's the
for
thing:
her to die right then. It was like she just came in for a favor. It just looked like she.
Okay, hold on. Spoiler alert! We warned you. Spoiler alert. Okay, so
shame on you.
So, yeah, she dies, and here's the thing.
And the way this is so ridiculous.
She died too easily. Like, I'm gonna go attack him, and all your attention will be to save him, and then I'll get you with my little dagger right in your heart. You know what I mean, or something. She was just like. Yeah, that's it. That's all it took. That little last dagger, oh, that was it. Like, I'm sorry. It's like it'd be one thing if the dagger fucking slit her throat. Like, oh fuck, now she's really dead. You know what I mean? You're just like, oh yeah, you're fucked. But that little dagger, fucking, she must have got her right in the heart, at the most, right in the fucking
one of the two,
or the aorta.
Yeah.
And then she was dead. And I was like, okay, Trinity's dead. Okay. Trinity's dead.
Yeah.
Why is it that everything she's in, she dies? she died in the Matrix, and she died in the first 10 minutes.
That was a good death. She fell to her knees, and then,
I mean, I'll give her this. She didn't look cheesy. She didn't look like,
She had a good costume.
She didn't do the Talia all gold death. Remember in The Dark Knight Rises where you're just like,
I try to forget that movie.
I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess you just died. But she died right away, so that was like, again, what the fuck? I couldn't believe that she was gone already. I was like, dude, okay, that's one of the reasons why I wanted to watch it, but now you killed her off.
Exactly, and that's the reason. They were like, yeah, we need somebody. What the fuck is this?
This is the cast of The Acolyte. You can cross off Carrie-Anne Moss. She's dead.
So the Rebecca Henderson character, she's the green one. And she just, I don't know, man.
She's like a ball-busting bitch.
The way she delivers
and then this
her
guy
lines
here,
aren't
the
great.
Dean,
and the makeup that they put on her, just the green makeup. I was like, you guys really didn't care.
Well, this guy here, Dean Charles Chapman,
Oh,
that guy was the worst. He was just floating there like he hasn't spoken since.
yeah. I was like,
huh?
he looked like Niles from fucking Frasier with a beard. I was like, that's not whoever was in costuming or did the fucking makeup. I was like, that doesn't look good.
He said, I'm assuming Carrie-Anne Moss is going to come back in flashbacks, but man, that was a wild creative
choice as fucking having Steven Seagal an executive decision.
It was
that motherfucker.
It was a cash grab. They're like, hey, we're going to dump, this many $1 million on you just to come in for this one scene.
I would think, or I would see it differently if they didn't advertise that she was in it. It was a surprise.
Let's check this out. I was looking for
so Leslie Headland. She needs to not have so much. When I was watching the credits, it was like written by Leslie, directed by Leslie, screenplay by Leslie, and everything was by Leslie. I was like, dude, somebody needs to like help her out because this is not good.
Someone needs to proofread this shit.
She did the Ryan Johnson thing. Did the first fucking draft. They don't take their time with this stuff and actually care.
And here's the thing too, is that like it's not about fucking
unless Leslie is a guy like Leslie Nielsen.
Rebecca Henderson is the wife of Leslie Headland, the writer of the showrunner. So yeah, you can see why she's there. Who's Rebecca Henderson?
I don't know. Bring your thingy back up.
Let me bring it back up. Oh, that's the green girl. That only makes sense. Look, you got the shit covering you got the fucking.
And well, that's funny then, because that's the if Rebecca is the wife, they didn't, like I just said, they didn't give a fuck about her makeup. Look at her makeup. It looks like you could fucking get that from Party City, and just put that fucking shit on your face, and that's
aside from that,
and she was wearing fucking a potato bag. That was her.
Okay. So Carrie-Anne Moss is dead. Dean Charles Chapman, he's dead. Charlie Barnett is fucking useless. This guy, he's the most, like I said, he's the most vanilla Jedi I've ever seen in my life. And what was up with the fat Jedi? Why did they slip that in? I was like, oh, we have a fat Jedi? Like, look, I'm not the skinniest guy in the world either.
He doesn't worship the Force. He's more of a Buddha kind of guy.
I was just like, why? Like, I don't know. Again, it was like check marks. Sure. Did we get someone overweight? Yep. Okay, check that box. Did we get it's just that's what it's become. That's what Disney Star Wars has become. Mm-hmm. And that's what bothers me. It's like, dude, just tell a story.
And the reason why they do that, the reason why the check marks are there is so that, they're trying so much to avoid negativity or hate or, people, rage posting about like, oh, you didn't have this, you didn't have that. And they're like, oh, no, we did. We have that. Yeah. Can't get mad at us for not having this.
So when we talk about the fat Jedi, so I did a search, right? And this is what came up for the fat Jedi. And what did you say? He was a Fatwan learner. A Fatwan learner. And you know what? It's funny because RJ can say that because RJ he's fat, so he's like.
I like to say big bone.
But okay, so let's take a look at some of these tweets, these mean tweets about the fat Jedi. Let me see. Hold on. Oh fuck, where'd it go? Here it is. Oh god. Okay, here they are right here. Okay, let's take a look. Can you see that, or should I blow it up?
Yeah, I can see. Oh, yeah. No,
let me blow it up.
Okay. There you go. That's better.
Okay,
a round of applause.
He says someone's been snacking on metachlorians. A round of applause for the bravery of those who brought us the acolyte. They've given us a fat Jedi.
Plagueis got his hands on him and sucked him dry.
And then here's another one. Look at this guy. He says, I love the fat Jedi. He's a king. What's this? When I was a boy, I loved Star Wars. I dreamed of being a Jedi, a hero. Not sure if I'll ever forgive. Okay, it's a little too much. But you can see if you just keep reading through these, it's out of control.
Well, what I love is those fucking binoculars that guy was wearing. You know, the
Drunk 3PO, be the fat
drunk.
Jedi you always wanted to be.
But they were like just on the second floor, and they had to have binoculars to watch the fucking fight between what was her name, the girl, the evil girl with, and I think it's really stupid that they put like a veil, and she wears the veil, but she always takes it off. I'm like, what's the point of this?
Just leave it on.
Just leave it on. I was like, what are you doing? It's like,
Oh, here we go. It's like, yeah, I felt represented. Big bone guys represent. Look at this one. Hold on. The search. All I did is I did a search for Fat Jedi. And this came up in Gollum's voice. Stupid Fat Jedi.
That was dumb, and I think that the Ezra Miller guy is the fucking
No.
Dark Lord.
No.
I don't care.
It's discount Ezra Miller.
It's
He was discount Ezra Miller.
I think he's
This
oh my
one.
god. Oh, is that the reason why they put that other guy back up? That was back from, remember from episode 1 where he was like, it was and he was twirling around his broom, and they rotoscoped his broom to make it a lightsaber, and they put the Duel of the Fates music on top of it. It was like
Yeah.
that guy. I was like, why am I seeing this again? This is fucking 20 years old.
I just think it's so funny that they're so concerned. Disney is so overly concerned with like having representation in everything that they do. And representation is fine. You can do that. But you have to do it in a more natural way, not in a way that feels like you're forcing it to happen because you want it to be known. It's kind of like, dude, you don't have to overly force this shit.
Yeah.
Just let the story do the telling. You know what I mean? Like, I don't get it. I mean, just like, why does she have the mask? We already know who she is. It wasn't like
look cool with it. It doesn't look.
And she uses daggers because she's like, oh, you know, like you have to fight me now. And they're like, oh, I can't find someone who's armed, but I have daggers.
And she's like, yeah, I'm gonna challenge you to a fight. Well, the Jedi really don't fight. We just, we kind of keep the peace. And she's like, fuck, this line that I've used on 2 different Jedi isn't working. How do I get them to engage in battle?
Okay, so this is actually a good one right here. Check this one out. And I agree with it, actually. Now we have a fat Jedi, a suicidal Jedi. What the fuck? And of course, don't forget, the Master Jedi been killed by a dagger. And it was a little dagger, too. It was like, oh my God. And like I said, like, I don't have problems with representation, but it's like, it has to be done the right way. It has to be done with fucking class. You know what I mean? I just don't. I don't know how to say it.
I mean, they did it back in the day. Just we were talking, a minute ago about Ghostbusters. I mean, Ernie Hudson was there, and that was fantastic representation. It wasn't forced, and it actually helped a lot of people like myself that weren't, scientists or whatever. That was like, oh, we're involved in this Ghostbusters world, and we can see through the eyes of Winston Zeddemore, what the fuck, these guys are actually doing or talking about or whatever. Anyway, but
so look, throughout the 2 episodes, they essentially allude to the fact that she has a sister and that she's probably alive. Like it should have made, really, it should have been a reveal at the end of the 2nd episode.
Yeah.
They should have played into it that, is she having like multiple personalities? You know what I mean? Is she blacking out and doing these things? There should have been more of a mystery to it. Instead, they just sort of left you big ass breadcrumbs, and then like partway through it, you were like, oh, I get it.
It's not that, oh, I get it. It's like, oh, that's what it is. Because
that's what it is.
You didn't have to fucking learn. I mean, you didn't have to like figure it out. They blatantly told you, they're like, hey, here's your spoon. So the thing starts off, and they're outside on the ship trying to like, fix a fire on the outside of the ship. The 2 Jedi come. They're like, hey, we're gonna take this woman and whatever, and they put her in this ship with the droid, and then these people are gonna break out, and then they get
read that
out
one? You wanna read
and
that
they
one?
get into an escape pod and what?
I read that one.
Oh, the first Fat Jedi in Star Wars franchise. I bet his cholesterol is higher than his midichlorian count.
Fucked up.
But anyway,
That's
so
fucked up.
like she feels sorry for the guy that has a starfish on his face, and is like, oh, I'll help him, and then he wakes up and like pushes her away and fucking takes the other escape pod, and I was like, well, that was fucking that. What did that do? They just showed that she was somewhat compassionate for a second. And but him leaving her, I was like, okay. And then the fucking Jedi like retrieve these motherfuckers right away and get them back to Coruscant quicker than anything, because they're like,
oh yeah, all of a sudden they were in cells. Hey, let us out! It was like, what the
in
fuck?
Coruscant already. And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, that was the dumbest like fucking narrative. And anyway, so then she goes, she enters in the orbit of a planet and crash lands. And like I was telling Andre earlier, I was like, it wasn't like when Anakin and Obi-Wan and Palpatine.
Hey, what's up, Craig?
Hey, what's up, man? How's it going?
He says, hey guys, long time no talk. Execute Order 66 milkshakes.
Oh, yeah, that sounds
What kind
good.
of jet
That sounds
is
good.
that? I know. It was like, come on, man.
That's another thing. Order 66 means nothing. But
Yeah.
that's not this era. But anyway, so she enters the atmosphere. Her ship does not go ablaze. It doesn't catch on fire like normal ships would, like you saw with Anakin and Obi-Wan and Palpatine crash landing on fucking Coruscant. Like she just crashed and everything was cool, and it was just so, I don't know, man. This it's written by it has to be written by children.
The
It was not-
writing is fucking terrible.
It's not
And so,
good.
but this is my thing. Everyone's like, oh, anytime you bring up Kathleen Kennedy's name, right? Everyone, oh, geeks and gamers. Oh, you guys, like that. No, this is my thing. Is that like, there's been so many swings and misses with Star Wars ever since she took over. And so there comes a point where you got to say, hey, is this really the right person to have there? Because how many things have been a success? I mean, The Mandalorian has been a success, regardless of how bad last season was.
Success that they have.
And I thought Andor was a
not
success.
good. Andor was good. No, Andor was good, but it wasn't received well by the fans that they're trying to attract.
Right, and so because of that, so because of the way that the fans reacted to Andor, they're gonna say, well, let's not do that again, because that was too dark, and even though they're doing a season 2, but still.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean, though.
Yeah.
I feel like she's had more
most of
misses
their
than
shows-
successes.
Most of their shows are not constructed or implemented like Andor, because it's they want the vibrant, vivid lightsabers, all this shit, and it's just like, Andor's great. It's good writing. It's an interesting concept. It's a
Michael
great
Wilkinson
story.
did the costumes for that, and you can see the amount of detail, and it felt cinematic when you were watching Andor. That was where I thought they caught lightning in a bottle. I was like, look, this is the first time that I'm watching a series that feels like I'm watching a cinematic experience, that I'm watching something that could be in a theater. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It
the
doesn't.
Acolyte is not that.
Well,
It
that's the
felt
thing.
very
Is that
TV show.
when you when you look at the Acolyte, when you look at Obi-Wan, these are shows that Obi-Wan. When you look at the Mandalorian, for that matter, at times, when you look at the Book of Boba Fett, that's 4 projects that when I watched them, I felt like I was watching actors on a set.
The another good one that they did, it's only because it's Filoni's character is the Ahsoka.
Ahsoka was
Ahsoka
badass.
show.
I really liked
That
Ahsoka.
looked very cinematic to me.
Yes, that did.
My biggest gripe is Fat Thrawn. They should have put a girdle on that dude.
They should have done something because he had a gut.
He had a gut. I was like, no, don't do that to Thrawn.
And then, like in the animated
Great
series, he
character.
was like fucking working out and shit, and like he do martial arts. I'm like, this guy looks like.
And the thing that really sucks is that Ray Stevenson is dead, and I actually really liked his character.
Oh, he was fucking badass.
Oh, I love that character. I was like, oh man, I can't wait to see more of him.
But see, here's the thing too: is that like I think with his character, they're just gonna recast him. I think they have to.
No, you
Because
can't. You can't. If you can't recast Black Panther, you can't recast whatever Ray Stevenson's character's name was.
Well, they haven't announced that they can't recast him yet, but even in Gen V, the spinoff show from The Boys, one of the main characters, what's his name? Something Perdermo. He died after season 1 because he died in a motorcycle accident, and so they decided. Eric Kripke, who does the Boys, he decided, okay, we're not going to recast him. We're just going to work in his death into the show, which I was like, why? Why?
Yeah.
It's like, and I get it, but it's kind of like, dude, he's not just the character, like just
yes, and that's just a weird thing. And like I said, just like Black Panther, they're like they had an opportunity to recast just for it's a role, T'Challa is a fictional.
Well,
character.
they've already determined that he has a son. The son is going to be Black
stupid
Panther.
Though, because his son's like an infant toddler or whatever. I was like,
I know, but they're going to do Young Avengers. So that when they do Young Avengers, it's going to have Kate. They're going to have Kate Bishop. It's going to have Miss Marvel. It's going to have young Black Panther.
He's still super young. What are they going to do?
They're going to jump ahead in time. They're not going to. He's not going to be a toddler. Black Panther. Meow meow. So they capture OSHA, which I'm like, why would you name the character after a company a safety company of OSHA? Like, is that OSHA certified? Whatever. Again, another swing and a miss. I was like, dude, why would you name her OSHA? Like if she had a brother, were you gonna name him fucking Granger? You know what I mean? Like, it's like, come on, man. Okay, so they capture her, but then they put her on a fucking ship with a bunch of other prisoners, and they're like, "Yeah, droids, you take them there." I'm like, okay, so my problem with that, I was like, so when do the droids fucking ship prisoners left and right? And here's the thing, he's like, hey, you, oh, hey, and he's like, hey, we're planning to escape, you want to join us? Oh, that's bad. And then he's like, oh, well, too late, let's do it. And the robot guy's like, nom, 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 nom. And they're like, woo.
And then the other fucking
they turn back into chairs. And I was like, wait a minute, it was that fucking easy? Like, you're telling me he's the only fucking cyborg droid fucking creature that's figured this shit out after all these years? It's kind of like, what the fuck?
And the prisoner he did it,
but he did it remotely.
They didn't restrain him because
Ryan,
I mean, I'm sorry,
Ryan, he did it remotely. He wasn't even hardwired to anything, or like he didn't have a port to attach to. Like, he remotely tapped into the network and shut down all the droids. I was like, what the fuck? And then the other guy has a long tongue and he rips off the head of one of them. I was just like, what the fuck?
Like, they should have put a muzzle on him. I mean, wouldn't you know who you have and what creature they are and all and information on this shit? I mean, come on, dude. This shit, like I said, it's written by a child.
It's just bad writing. But not only is it bad writing, it's bad writing along with bad oversight. I mean, like somebody has to be able to read this shit and go, wait, hold on. So the droids are not going to know the abilities of the prisoners?
Yeah.
Well, no. I mean, they
probably did bring it up, and she was like, "Well, in order to have my character escape, they have to not know." And they're like, "Oh, well, yeah, no, that makes sense. Proceed."
Yeah, it was just like, oh my god. Okay,
it's
so
like, who's
they hijacked the ship, and like you were saying, they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna hijack the ship, and we're all gonna escape from the escape pods because we all know there's enough for all of us." I don't know. So they escape. And then the fucking guy who has the starfish on his face, she's like, oh, I can't leave him because as a Jedi, I need to help people. And again, they're kind of going back to that whole thing that we saw in Obi-Wan, where they said, the problem the problem with the Jedi is that they want to help people, and that's how they expose themselves. So I think, again, they were like, oh, we want to emphasize the fact that OSHA wants to help him because she's a Jedi at heart.
Sure, that was the kitty in the tree, situation.
Yeah.
And I get it. And it was funny that he knocked her out of the way and took the escape pod.
He's like, ah!
But then, like in the very next scene, almost they're in fucking Coruscant behind bars already or whatever, already shipped there. I was like, I was like, damn.
They caught them immediately. It's like those escape pods went straight to Coruscant.
Yeah.
Like, oh damn it, they got us. And then so the starship crashes onto the fucking planet.
Yeah.
And somehow it does not explode. It comes to a slide.
It just slides. They're like, you know what?
Did she get the
Let's
pilot
do
seat?
what we did
I can't
with
remember.
The Millennium Falcon on.
Did she
on that
control
thing.
the ship at the end?
No, she buckled it. You know, she put.
She buckled in, but somehow the ship pulled up and came to a sliding crash. I was
well,
like,
if you remember, the
Right.
pilot and co-pilot of the ship were chairs.
they turned back into chair.
It looks like Transformers.
They're like, so if a
GoBots.
human pilot wants to
More
use
like
this,
GoBots.
you could turn us back into chairs if you'd like.
I actually recline.
Yeah, we actually have massage features built into us if you'd like a massage on your lower back, upper back, or side back. So it was just like, okay. So she crashes and she lives because, well, she was buckled in. She wore a seatbelt. I mean,
She wore a seatbelt.
that
Safe
no
first.
helmet, no anything. She just
No.
fucking. And then not only that, but then the Jedi show up later on. And they're like, she's not here. There's no way she could have lived in this crash.
And he's like,
I was
no,
like, come on,
no,
dude.
No, wait, stupid Jedi. She did, she did crash and she did leave. Actually, she went this way, and then she's like chasing an image of her younger self or some crap like that. And I was just like, that. It was silly. And then when she got to that edge and she turned around and then they stopped her in midair. Didn't they do the same exact fucking thing earlier where they caught the sister in sort of midair and she was sort of horizontal? And I was like, they're doing that a lot.
Yeah, they were doing that a lot.
Gotcha. I don't know. Gotcha. And then there was one major scene. I'm skipping ahead to that, the fucking guy with the beard, but that was like, okay. There was the one shot where she like saw her younger, sister or whatever, and in a vision or some shit, and she went, the other way, and the goofy Jedi saw her. I forget his name.
The
Yord.
goofy Jedi.
Goofy
Jedi.
So he saw her, and he was like, I followed her, but I didn't say anything. I just wanted to watch.
Oh yeah.
And the thing is that somehow she took a fucking side, hallway corridor or whatever. They were going directly to this dude in the beard. They knew where he is because he's sitting, fucking hovering, sitting in Indian style or whatever you want to call it, and in midair meditating or whatever. They're going directly to him, but she goes off to the side, goes around, and she's somehow before them. She gets there before them.
And not only that, but at one point, remember he goes, the Asian guy looks over and he goes, oh no, and they start running, and then when you see them later on, they just walk into the room. I was like, weren't you running a second ago?
Exactly.
What the fuck?
That's what I'm saying. There was that need of that sense of urgency, which dwindled quickly, and then
they're out of shape.
The goofy Jedi,
a fast run turned into a fast walk.
He watched her go down the stairs to the bearded Jedi and looked at the vial and all that bullshit, and he's just watching like a fucking creeper.
He said,
like,
I was watching her the entire time in my mind. And that's what he did. He mentally watched her. What's up, Droga? And he was like, oh, I was connected to her the whole time. She didn't do it. And they were like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I mean? They're like, well, it's like they walk in, they're like, you did this, So I'm like, okay, she's gonna get arrested again. I got it. I get where they're going for. And he's like, no, I was watching her the whole time. She didn't do it.
And then after that, she goes in and she sees her sister and shit, at the confrontation or whatever the fuck. Dude, like I said, he's on the second fucking level looking at the fight going on through binoculars. Like he's got fucking horrible, a distance issue. And he doesn't have, he's farsighted or nearsighted. I guess he's nearsighted because he can't see far. But then you have the sister, I forget her fucking name, Osha. Osha sees May. Osha sees May, and May is in that. She gets in the speeder, and then she lets her go because she shoots behind her, and then she misses on purpose twice, and then the Asian guy sees her, and he's like, at that point in time, I'd have been like, okay, I just saw you let your sister go. I can't trust
But okay, thank you. Because when I saw that scene, I was like, oh, he saw her, so now he's gonna call her out and be like, hey, I can't trust you. I need to put you back in cuffs.
Yeah,
no,
there you go.
He gave her the look of like, dude, what did you just do? I saw you,
Yeah.
and then they just kind of moved on. Like, oh,
and they're like, no, but she's still a part of the good guy team. No, you're not a part of the good guy team because you can't be trusted. You let the person that you're of interest go.
But here's the thing, though, is that the gun she had, which looked like a fucking sawed-off shotgun.
Yeah.
When she fired it, it was the stun rings, the same kind of look as a say your weapon's a stun. You know, that guy got killed too. Sure. But like, my thing is that when she fired her gun, it looked like it was in stun mode. So I was like, well, why would you not shoot your sister who's in like it's non-lethal?
Just take her into custody. You know,
it's a non-lethal hit.
Yeah,
I mean, you missed on purpose. Like what?
Yes.
It'd be one thing if that was a fucking a Magnum, you know what I mean, where it's gonna blow her brains out. You're like, oh, I'm gonna miss on purpose. But she got caught missing.
Yeah, she got caught missing, and that was it. And that was actually a good scene in the show that are a good, you know, kind of setup. But then there was no payoff because they
just let it go.
It was dumb.
It's okay. Well, we still need your help anyway, so fuck it.
Yeah. You're still valuable because you're related to her.
Yeah, they're like, oh, you know, she only helped kill 2 Jedi, but you know, it's fine.
Yeah,
you're our friend.
Fine now, we're fine. How are you?
Yeah, he's like, it's fine because you know, I used to be your master, so I still trust you.
Yeah.
And then not only that, right? And then you got, oh god. And so then, like, they're really going off about, you know, the Padawans, right? They're like, oh yeah, everyone's got one. Why don't you? You know. And so, let me see. Let me pull this up real quick. So then, where is it? So then you got this Padawan who, this girl, if she didn't have makeup on, she's like rad to Harry Potter. I was just like, okay. She didn't have to have the funky makeup and the horns, but whatever.
I think it's just Disney just saying, hey, we got, you know, George had aliens, we got aliens too. Okay, cool.
I know. And then and she seemed way too young to be doing anything with them, but she's a Padawan, so I get it. It's fine. But what bothers me is that the other guy,
I like the Padawan's idea better.
The other guy who had a Padawan, you saw her in the first episode, and then you never saw her again. Like, where was she at?
Yeah, she got reassigned because they're like, you're too stupid.
Yeah, they're like, you don't have much of a personality, so let's not keep her on set.
You're not a really good knight, so we're gonna reassign her.
The idea that Osha used to be a part of the, you know, was trained to be a Jedi. I thought that was interesting. Why did she leave? Did they say why she left?
You know what? If they did, it must have happened when I was in the I don't care mode.
Yeah, it must have been. It must have been.
But the thing is like, okay, so I think they mention that they're like, you know, she was too old or whatever when she started, and I'm like, you know, when they started training her, and did they train her sister? Who trained her sister? All this other bullshit. The fucking guy, like I said, dude, the Ezra Miller ripoff. He's fucking Kylo Ren over there on the fucking, you know, on the rocks, and like, what kind of training is he actually giving her? Because he keeps her at bay. So how can she learn how to fight? Is there going to be someone else that trains her hand-to-hand combat, how to throw these little knives?
You think it's this guy, the Manny?
Yes,
Jacinto, discount Ezra Miller.
I believe so, and the reason why is because, you know, this is they're setting it up that this guy's a mystery character. Well, the mystery character always has to be revealed, you know, to be somebody that you least expect. So I think it's him. I think it's like,
and he did say you had brought up.
So he was like, oh, you didn't use the poison. You killed him of other means. Oh, he'll be so happy and all this other shit or whatever. And it was just like, you know, sort of like, it just felt like he gendered the other guy apparently. So yeah, so the Kylo Ren guy on the fucking rocks is a dude. It's not a lady like somebody said in another show. But Yeah, no, dude, I think it's him because
Yeah,
he's.
I think so.
If it's the villain of the series, it's got to be, and you've got that slate that has like the main cast members or whatever, and the Fat Jedi also mentioned that was not the apothecary guy, that was not the normal person.
Oh yeah, he did.
So they probably killed the other one.
Yeah, they murdered him.
Murder.
So Manny Jacinto is discount Ezra Miller. He's probably going to be the main bad guy because he did say he.
Yeah.
So and then Daphne Keene, which I'm excited to see, is in this show. We haven't seen her yet. We'll probably see her next episode. X-23, damn
Yeah.
right. Okay. And then I haven't seen Jodie Turner yet either. But you know, it wouldn't surprise me if Jodie Turner was the main villain. It's Disney Star Wars. They're like, I want a hero and a villain, and they're both personal color, females. And I have no problem with that.
They tried that, and Reva just wasn't a good villain.
No, she was not. That was horrible acting too.
Yeah,
and I understand that she's an Academy Award nominated actress or whatever.
Yeah, but
not in this role.
In a different movie.
Not in this role.
Yeah, in a different genre.
Bad writing again. Oh, Obi-Wan was horrible writing. That was probably the worst I've seen. Is Obi-Wan. That was the worst writing. I was like, oh my god. And then after that, they went on strike. We want more money for our riding. It's like, dude,
you want more money for this?
When it comes to Disney Star Wars writing, this is for you.
Don't bullshit me. Bullshit. Bullshit.
Ooh.
I mean, that's what it is, man. I'm telling you.
Punch.
So, where were we? So she gets to the fucking place and she's like, so she let May go. A fucking, a fucking murderer.
She knows that she killed, Trinity and the bearded guy.
And the bearded guy, you can say, okay, well, he killed himself, right? So as a viewer, you could say,
Kevorkian assisted.
Well, but what I'm saying is that as a viewer, you can say, well, she didn't actually kill him, but she fucking murdered Carrie-Anne Moss. She murdered Trinity.
Yeah, with the lethal blade,
the little lethal blade that she had. Dead.
Kalel, no.
Just fucking dead. And so she dies, and I mean, look. Apparently, they took a page out of Zack Snyder. They were like, "Hey, look, I just watched Rebel Moon, and Blood Axe dies at the end of it. Let's do the opposite. Let's kill Carrie-Anne Moss at the beginning of this, and then we'll bring her back for flashbacks." I was like, "Why? Just keep her alive." She would have been a better character to follow in this show. I was actually hoping that was the character we were going to follow in this show was Carrie-Anne Moss, and then she died.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, we're going to follow this girl instead.
Either that or she could have been the Green Lady. She could
have been the Green Lady.
I guess the Green Lady's sort of a stand-in for Yoda.
I don't know. But I mean, look, let me go back to that image. Okay. Was it Amandla?
Almond Joy?
Amandla.
Yeah.
Steinberg? Anyway. Stenberg. Amandla Stenberg. I thought, look, I'll give her this. She was doing double work.
Hug and kiss.
Amanda kiss and hug. Has anyone seen Amanda kiss and hug? I need Amanda kiss and hug. So I thought her performance as both characters, I didn't think she did that bad. I thought she was fine as the character. Some of the lines were a little corny, but then again, everyone had shitty lines.
I think it was cheap. I still think it's cheap of them just to use. In this day and age where people are like, oh, hey, you can't be a handicap, or a person in a wheelchair. If we have actors that are persons in wheelchairs or whatever, you can't have a role of a twin when the person is not actually a twin. You need an actual twin. So, I mean, I thought it was cheap for them to do that. Like I said, when they had the little girls, they didn't use the same girl for both sisters. They could have just used another actress and said, hey, this is this is the twin, and just gave them both the dreadlock thing or whatever.
I
and
think
okay, there you go.
the problem I have with the twin was that the idea that OSHA could have been the one who was out there killing Jedi should have been carried on for much longer.
Yeah.
The twin aspect didn't really pay off very quickly because they got to the bottom of it by the second episode. So you're like, oh, okay, well, you didn't even have to be a twin. You could have just been another actress who was your sister.
Yeah.
Like the point of
like in the Last Jedi.
I don't want to talk about Last Jedi. We don't talk about Last Jedi here.
Why did you say that name?
No, I don't even have it. I don't even have it anymore.
Oh, no.
I don't have it.
Oh,
I don't
well.
got it.
Why did you say that name?
There it is.
That
We don't talk
time
about
is
Last Jedi
past.
here. So, okay, the burning question. Are
Oh.
you going to continue to watch Acolyte?
I'm not gonna do what we normally do as far as like, if it drops on Wednesday, I'm gonna watch it, that day, or I'm not gonna drop. I'm gonna watch it whenever I feel like it. I don't care. I'll binge it maybe because it might be better to binge it than to sit there and watch
week
it
by
and
week.
just sort of pick it apart and say, hey man, this didn't like it. But yeah, I mean, there's just so many things that I would have done just differently, as far as like how I would have handled a story like that. And from what you say, you would have done the same.
Yeah.
But it's just like, man, these people they get paid to make this media. They get paid to come up with stories and try to entertain audiences with that. And it's like, and they get paid a pretty penny to do so. And you're paying a subscription premium for the Disney stuff, and they bought Star Wars $5 million basically.
And they spent $160 million on this show.
No, it was $5 billion, right? That they spent
on the show.
No, on the brand. On the
no,
brand.
I'm talking about on this show, The Acolyte. They spent $160 million in the show.
Holy fuck!
I thought the special effects
that all went to all the practical effects. Look. And like I said, all these shows, I can't think of any show that doesn't look good. As far as like the set pieces,
the space stuff, all looks great.
Everything looks like okay.
The fire in space, love it.
Yeah, I didn't mind it. I
didn't care. It was like whatever.
It didn't matter. They've already had that in Return of the Jedi when the A-wing crashed into the Superstar Destroyer. There were flames in space, so it's fine. So anyway, I it looks great, but the problem has been with Disney Star Wars is that you have ILM. You have, all, access to all this, stuff that can make the product look good. But the backbone, the skeletons, the structure of the foundation of the stories, if they are not good, then it doesn't matter how good it looks.
Yeah, it doesn't.
It really doesn't. It's like, you can come up with some really cool shit. And there was some stuff in here that I saw that was like, oh, that's pretty cool. But it doesn't make the story better. And the reason why people like shows and they like, different mediums or whatever is because of the actual content, the story. They want to watch a good story. They don't want to watch.
Andor cost $250 million, so that's higher. It's the highest show ever. You can tell. It looked like I was watching a movie every episode. I'm sorry, but like, not only did it look good, the writing was good.
Writing was great.
When he got put in that prison, I was like, "Oh God, this is gonna drag on." No, it was fucking compelling. It was good.
Yeah,
Andy Serkis was there.
Yeah,
and then he died at the end. but
spoilers.
Yeah, spoiler, whatever. But Andy Serkis was there. I was like, "Wow, this is fucking cool." Like, I really enjoyed it.
It's Snoke.
Snoke.
They brought him back.
People were like, "Is this going to be Snoke's origin?" No. The Mandalorian is only the cheapest show. That's because they use the volume. They do use the volume a lot. Again, season 3, I thought had some bad writing.
It does get noticeable. Yeah, it does get noticeable.
Yeah. The writing sucked.
You can use the volume technology, but just also have physical, like the fucking Obi-Wan thing where it was the bridge and you could walk around the bridge on both sides of the bridge, but for some reason you had to go through the bridge.
He had to disable it. Yeah.
It was so stupid.
Why would you do that when there's so much room? You know,
that scene always reminds me of Robin Hood Men in Tights. I'm on the east side. I'm on the west side. It's like it's the principle of the thing.
What was that thing called? It was a gate.
What?
I'm trying to find. I
shit.
don't think
In
I'll be able to
Obi-Wan,
find it.
I only watched Obi-Wan once.
Yes, it did not
I-
have. For me, at least, it had
That's
zero
one thing.
replay
Like
factor.
movies, I can typically watch a movie twice at the least. But these Disney Plus shows, not just Star Wars, but also the Marvel stuff, I don't watch it for repeat viewings.
Yeah,
I've consumed it once, and then that's kind of it.
I mean,
I'm
I
on to the
love
next.
Loki, but like I haven't seen it again.
Loki was fun, but yeah, again, I haven't seen it again. I have no need to go back and relive it, rewatch it. I'm just like, okay, and I guess that's what it is. It's sort of like fast food, kind of media. Like I can watch a movie again, multiple times, whatever. I'm sure I'll watch the Aquaman movie again. It wasn't great, but I'll watch it again because it was a movie. There it is.
It's like, bro, just go up the hill.
Yeah.
He's like, that hill is too steep for my boots.
I have rocks in my boots.
I remember I watched it live. I was like, dude, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, you have to disable this to get through. It's like, just go around.
That felt like such a video game moment.
Yes.
It was like, oh God, really? You gotta disable the gate to get through it when you can clearly go around, but the bushes will not allow for you to travel.
They're poisonous.
They're poisonous. It's treacherous. This
And again,
walking single.
it comes back to bad writing and bad execution. When you have mistakes like that you don't vet out, you don't edit out, you don't account for, that hurts your product in the long run. Yeah. And you could say, well, you guys are just nitpicking, but it's like, I shouldn't have to nitpick.
Sure.
No, it's the same thing goes when Mark Hamill told that story that I sent you, when he said, we just came out of the trash compactor. Shouldn't my hair have like trash in it and look all slimy? And Harrison Ford goes, hey kid, this ain't that kind of movie. If they're if they're staring at your hair, then we're all in trouble. Because basically it's like, if they're staring at your hair, then they don't give a fuck about what they're watching. They're just like, look at this guy. What the fuck? Yeah. So again.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be completely 100% flawless, but if you have something that just like it just kind of fucks with your logic.
Yes.
And it sort of sticks out like an eyesore, and you're like, wait a minute, that didn't make sense. That's dumb.
That's dumb. It's not cool.
Like, I can forgive a lot of shit, like fucking Jar Jar Binks for one, dude. I can forgive it because I'm more interested in everything else that's going on. I can forgive certain things that I saw in Mandalorian, forgive certain things that I saw, even in, like, I was watching fucking Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, and there were some things in there that didn't make any sense, but I was like, overall, I can overlook some of that shit.
Yeah.
Even though it wasn't a great Indiana Jones movie, it was better than the Crystal Skull.
I like how Jamie shows up and just says, it's
dumb.
It's dumb. It's dumb. Look, am I going to watch the show? Yes, I'm going to watch the show. I'm going to cover the show and watch all the episodes.
You know what? I'm more, thank you, Jamie, for the icon. I'm more interested in the fucking Wookiee Jedi.
You know what? When I saw that, I was like,
it just reminded me of that Jedi that was in Luke's order. I was like, wait, that's not the right time period.
When I saw that, I was like, okay, so you've clearly run out of ideas. You're like, and then we're gonna reveal the Wookiee Jedi. Okay. And that's the difference. Like, when Dave,
there's no context. There's nothing. And who the fuck is this anyway? Who cares? Like, what? How's it going?
And guys, if you want to leave a super chat and have something you want to say about the Acolyte, go right ahead. You could do that if you're watching on YouTube. Make sure you check out Nickatina.net. Memberships are available on the website. If you become a member on the website, it's much better because then I don't have to share my profits from with YouTube. It goes directly to the show. So guys, if you want to become a member, you can do so by doing it on YouTube, or even better, do it on my website. www.nickatina.net, and that has all 3 of my channels on there, and you can join the communities and interact with me, with Ryan, with a bunch of other guys as well for all 3 channels. So definitely check that out.
I don't think you have to put www anymore.
You probably don't have to, but I do it anyway because that shows you what era we come from.
Wubba wubba wubba
Wubba wubba wubba. So look, at the end of the day, we don't know who the bad guy is, the guy in the mask, the new Kylo Ren. It's probably Discount Ezra Miller who's going to be that guy.
Yeah.
I agree, because I think what they're going to do is, what did we see from Discount Ezra Miller? We saw him like kind of being like, hey, what's up? Like,
Yeah.
oh, right. Yeah. And so again, it's like, oh, are we getting the, remember how Yoda, you seek Yoda.
And that was the thing with that George wanted to do originally with Jar Jar.
But Jar Jar,
he wanted to be a fool, but then like he's not actually a fool. But that's
I think that's what they're doing with this character.
Yeah, because when she attacked him when May attacked him in the alley, he overtook her pretty easily.
Yeah.
For an apothecary, potion guy.
Yeah. And I'm telling you right now, if it's not him, then it's probably a female actress. Disney's like, just make it a girl.
We need more powerful females.
And the thing too is that when it comes to Disney Star Wars, like they have this like love boner for having every lead be a female. And like I love female leads, but when you overdo it, it starts to become noticeable. You're like, dude, it's like saying like, oh, I love this pair of pants, and then you wear it every single day, and you're like, okay, I can tell that you're wearing the same pair of pants every single day.
No, it's not. It's actually a different pair. You can tell because these smell.
Yeah, you're like, but no, it's the same stain as there from yesterday.
No. I went to an embroidery place, and they put some ink on there and stained it.
But that's my point, is that like, look, you can have representation, you can have inclusion. That's perfectly fine.
Yep.
But it's how you execute it. And the way Disney Star Wars does it, they execute it in the poorest ways you could possibly think of. And so it's just like, oh God, here we go again. Oh, here we go again. Oh, there it is again.
And it gets to exactly like you're sort of demonstrating now. It gets to the point where you start looking for it, and when you start looking for it, then you're not paying attention to maybe something that could be good, like a story.
Yeah.
Of course, they got to fucking fix their stories too. Their stories suck. They really.
Stories
come
suck.
on, man. Refine this shit, dude. Have it go through multiple editors.
I thought that the story that they told in Ahsoka was way better than the story we've gotten so far.
Filoni's baby.
But you can tell that Filoni had a lot to deal with, with the writing, and you can tell because it was good.
And but see, that's the thing, is that's his character. Ahsoka's his character. None of these characters, these people that are making these series, writing the story, they're not invested in growing or caring about these characters. They're just making new shows because they got the green light to do so. Mm-hmm. And it's just I'm not impressed. I'm just not impressed.
I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed. It's shit like this. You're just like, dude, what are you doing? Jamie writes, did y'all talk about this already? But do you think Carrie-Anne Moss is going to come back? I don't think she'll come back. Maybe in a flashback. But
you know what? If she'll come back like she's going to come back in Matrix 5.
Yeah. Here's the thing: is that I think already they've played their hand with that. That Carrie-Anne Moss was a draw-in. She was a draw.
Yeah.
Like, hey, let's put Carrie-Anne Moss front and center. Let's put her on a ton of promo material, and let's get viewers to come in to see this. And then she's gonna die.
Yeah.
And then that's the end of it. Because
they could have a flashback scene.
But here's the thing, though, is that I think what they were trying to establish was this: is that they wanted to have the character that dies first to have the biggest impact on the viewer. So sort of like, if it was just a random Jedi who died, you might be like, oh, whatever. But if it's Carrie-Anne Moss, you're like, oh, they're hoping at least that you'd be, oh my God, she died? Oh man. Like they wanted it to mean more.
Sure.
And that was it. That could have been anybody who's going to die at the beginning of the show. That could have been anybody. But they wanted it to be somebody that mattered. And so they were able to get her to come in and do it, and she died. She could have actually been a huge benefit for Star Wars if she would have carried on the show. but we'll never know because she's dead.
Yeah, she died.
Why the hell did she do the rounds? I don't know. I mean, she may like. Here's the thing: is that if she comes back, I don't see how she comes back as a Force ghost. For who?
Yeah.
Osha doesn't know her. May doesn't know her. May met her that day and killed her.
The Asian guy, he knows her.
I mean, she might come back as a Force ghost to talk to him, but I mean, that's a possibility. I think. What's up, Fear Jason?
What's up, Fear Jason?
Guys, remember to check out Nickatina.net. We have communities on there, and memberships are available on the website at Nickatina.net. If you want to become a member, please do so by joining the memberships over on Nickatina.net under the Nickatina Show. But it
Did
just
you read that?
No, I just said off the top of my head. But it just felt like, okay, so you put Carrie-Anne Moss in this show, marketed the fuck out of her just to get us to watch.
Yes.
And not only that, but you gave us 2 episodes.
Yes.
Oh, I'm getting 2 episodes and Carrie-Anne Moss, and okay, that's cool. And then she died. It was like, oh, so was she?
It was bait and switch.
Bait and switch. What's that movie with Steven Seagal? Executive Decision.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Because that was
actually
they promoted him in the trailer and all that, and you thought he
Yeah.
was going to be in it, and then that was it.
That was it. But to me, that was still a good movie. I thought Kurt Russell did a good job in that movie.
That's the difference between Disney Star Wars. And
Miles Dyson was in that
Yeah.
movie. Maybe he was crippled. He soul shot somebody.
And wasn't that also Gary Oldman?
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to say Gary Oldman was in that too. But no, that was a good movie. And
no. Gary Oldman was in the other movie with Harrison Ford as the president.
Oh, Air Force One.
This one was Air Force One. This one was Kurt Russell as the
John
president.
Leguizamo.
John Leguizamo.
He was in the movie. He was one of the Navy SEALs. How that makes any sense, I don't know. He was in it longer than she was. It's true. He was.
That's true.
And he died. You know, he saved the other guy. He died saving Kurt Russell's character.
Yeah.
And then he went splat against a mountain.
But heroic at all. Well, I mean, she stopped the knife from going to that hammerhead guy.
It just seems so easy to kill a Jedi. You know what I mean? It was like, that's all it took. Come on, man. Like, this is Trinity. She should be able to fucking fight off this girl. You know, and this is the first time that they've ever established that, oh, if you're a Jedi, you also know how to do kung fu. I was like, well, wait a minute. When did this ever happen? I don't remember Obi-Wan doing this shit. Maybe each one's a little different. I don't know, but I've never seen a Jedi do kung fu in my life.
Obi-Wan's like, no, I don't need that class.
It was like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon with Star Wars. I was kind of like, oh, why are we doing this? But whatever. I mean, the fighting was cool. I was like, all right, something different. I like that. And then she died, and you're like, okay, I guess that's the end of that.
Yeah.
Again, just right over there, right about the corner.
That poor stormtrooper's chopped in half.
I know. That was actually cool. And when they did that, I was like, oh, dope. That was like one of the coolest things they did. I was like, all right. And then like it was quickly covered up by Obi-Wan's inability to scale up
the best thing
a
is
hill.
not even this. You like when he had Leia in his coat.
Oh, yeah. That was the worst.
The mini-me.
That was the absolute. I'm just going to find that.
That is Disney Star Wars writing at its best. I mean, come on, dude. That is right there. That's the best you're gonna get from Disney Star Wars is fucking.
When
Leia
they did that, I was like,
coat.
there is no quality control anymore. Like
that's exactly what I'm talking about.
What the fuck? Your own son, Matt, he goes live right now. Jesus.
he's always
He's trying to uproot us. Guys, we have 30 people watching right now. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, and make sure you follow me on X as I go live on this channel. Try to go live weekly, but I do go live weekly with the 4 nerds. And also, we're going to do the watch party of The Boys Season 4, me and Sean, who's not here right now. We're going to be doing a live watch party of The Boys Season 4, starting with the premiere on June 13th. So definitely check that out. Here is, oh God, oh Jesus Christ.
What?
Okay, here it
You
is.
found
Right
it.
here.
Oh, look at! Wow, it looks like he has an enormous boner.
Yeah, but it was like,
he
this
looks
is
like
the best you can think of.
he looks like fat bastard.
So what you're gonna do is you're gonna put her under your coat, and you guys are gonna walk out, and there's not even a fucking ship waiting for them. They're just like,
no one notices this.
everyone's panicked. They don't notice anything anymore. They're like, oh, battle stations, run, grab some canisters. I don't know what's in these.
Who's that guy with the beard? It must be some alien because he has four legs.
This one
looks like a-
stormtrooper over here. He's staring at them like,
senator.
It was so dumb. I was like, when I saw this scene, I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. You gotta be fucking kidding me. Come on, Disney Star Wars. If I'm in the editing room, I'd be like, all right, you know what? Let's cut that shit out, dude. That's really dumb. Like, whose idea was it to put her under the coat? It was Fred's over here. He thought that was a good look for. No,
Fred.
put her in a fucking crate. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
put her in a crate, put her on a fucking
Yes.
a rolling flatbed, and act like you guys are taking cargo out to a ship.
Yes.
Like,
It's
why
easy.
is she under your fucking jacket? And it's not even like she's a small girl where she fits easily. It's easily noticeable that something is under your jacket. It's either a kid, a dog, a human. Like, come on. Like, what are you talking about? And this is what I'm talking about Disney Star Wars. You
Yeah.
got to clean that shit up. You got people out there like, well, you should just be happy that we're getting Star Wars. Anything Star Wars I love. I'm going to watch Star Wars. I love Star Wars, but you got to clean this shit up. No other franchise does this type of dumb shit on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Nobody does. I'm sorry.
Like you
Not
said, there's
even
no quality
Marvel.
control.
Not even Marvel makes this many mistakes that Star Wars does. And here's the problem. When we talk about Star Wars, before the sequel trilogy, right? And before the Disney Plus, all that shit. We're talking about the original trilogy. We're talking about the prequel trilogy. All of which...
I'll even give you the Ewok movies.
Okay. All of which I felt had really good writing. When you watch the prequels, the amount of exposition that was given to establishing not only the Metachlorians,
but detail,
but establishing the Old Republic, establishing the type of government they ran, everything.
Yeah.
It was so dialogue heavy, but still had good action, right? But you can tell he cared. He wanted you to understand the universe. Here, I feel like they're doing that less. That they're just like, just get it out there. I don't care about the quality.
They're more concerned with the flashy than they are with like
you had
telling a story.
Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen for Obi-Wan, and you fumbled it this fucking hard.
Yeah.
I almost don't even consider Obi-Wan canon because it was so dumb. Even the fight with Anakin. I mean, it was cool, but it wasn't memorable.
Yeah.
You're talking about the last time they fought in Revenge of the Sith. That's memorable.
Yeah.
That was a badass fight, epic fight. And now you have to recreate that for Obi-Wan.
Yeah. You have to knock it out of the park, not just with choreography, but also visuals. You got to put them in situations that are memorable. Hell, even the fucking the redo of Obi-Wan and Vader's fight, which had what's his face, he played Batman. He was playing Vader in this. It was called I forgot what the hell the thing was called, but it was just a reimagining of the fight between Obi-Wan and Vader in the Death Star. Richard Citrone.
Jeez,
and
unbelievable.
Yeah, okay. And let's see, but I forgot also what it was called, but you can find it on YouTube. And that is even better, and it's memorable for me. I'm like, wow, I remember when they used force pushing and they added so much more for Alex's character to do and still kind of keep it looking or keep that feel that it wasn't too modern or whatever, but it was a lot of care that went into it.
Now, was there cool things in Obi-Wan, in Acolyte, and all that? Yeah, there's a lot of cool shit.
Yeah.
But the problem is that the dumb shit outweighs the cool shit.
That's true.
And that's always been the case. The fight scenes in the show looks good. The other Star Wars shows, it doesn't. So my point is this, is that when you compare what you're seeing now to not only the original trilogy, but even the prequels, right?
Mm-hmm.
So at that point, everyone critiqued the prequels by saying, oh, they're not as good as the original trilogy. The writing isn't as good. The acting is flat. That's probably my biggest gripe of the prequel trilogy, is that the acting is really flat.
Well, the acting and the dialogue are the worst parts of the prequels. Everything
But, I
else,
mean-
and also the practical effects versus green screen. He went a little too far with the green and blue screen.
He was like, everything will be in green screen anyway.
He was like, oh, we'll just fix it on post.
But and then when you get to this shit, it's just, you can tell that the level, especially in the writing, it's just so bad.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what you have to do. I mean, when you look at like BBS
and Lucas
Zack Snyder's Justice League with fucking Chris Terrio writing, that like you can tell the difference. When you watch a movie like Argo, has fucking great writing.
Mm-hmm.
But when you watch this shit, it doesn't have that.
Yeah.
And I think that moving forward, especially when you get past the Acolyte, moving forward, anything that you do that is Star Wars related has to be taken with the utmost care, and it has to have the best, really good writing, and it has to feel cinematic, and that's what they lack. Is that Obi-Wan, the Acolyte, Boba Fett. These shows feel like they're on a set, that they're on a soundstage, or they're in a studio. And that is the problem I have with these shows, is that they don't feel organic, and they don't have that big scale that we're used to. When you watch Andor, that felt cinematic. That felt like all the backgrounds and the environments they were in had this big epic feel to it,
Mm-hmm.
When you watch Obi-Wan, when you watch even the Acolyte to some degree, when you watch the book of Boba Fett, it feels claustrophobic. Everything feels tight, because they're not on real sets, not in real environments like they were in Andor, like they were in the movies, not the sequel trilogy, but And so you don't have that big epic big feel to it. You just feel like you're watching a movie that was filmed on a soundstage.
Yeah, it just seems like one of those made-for-TV movies, and how Disney had those things that would come out every, every month or every Saturday or whatever or Friday or whatever, and they always just had like the movie of the week. It just feels like that, like they just made it and made for TV, and not made. They're like, yeah, we don't have the big screen in mind for this, but yeah, it could get better, man. That is just being too hopeful every single time.
I mean, it could get better. It could. I haven't seen it yet.
But that's always the thing. It's like, whenever you're watching anything, it's like, oh, it could get better. I hope it does. I hope it's not bad. I hope it's not worse. But judging from these two, just these two episodes here, typically they have filler episodes. So if you say there's 6 episodes left, at least one of those episodes is going to be a filler episode, because that's what they do in a lot of these Star Wars.
It feels like one of these episodes, they're going to get stuck on like an ice planet, and they have to figure out a way to recharge their ship. You know what I mean? Something like, oh, here we go. Here comes the Wampa.
Here comes the spiders.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it could get better, and I hope it does. But like, you always want to put your best foot forward. And the thing is, with whether it's movies or books or whatever, it's like you have a certain amount of time in the very beginning to hook your audience, to get people invested, involved, and interested. And if you have to wait until episode 3, episode 4, episode 5, or even all the way to episode 6 to finally hook somebody into like, oh, you know what, this show was actually good, then you haven't done your job.
It
was. It should be episode 1 of this Acolyte show that gets you hooked, and so for me, it's not, because there's just so many silly ass things in there that just don't really resonate and don't really say, you know what, this was something that people cared about. And if you don't care about it, why should I?
Yeah.
If you're a creator and you create something that you don't really care about, and your passion doesn't show on whatever medium you're using, then your audience is they're not gonna get invested either. So that's my 2 cents.
You heard it here first. We tried to warn you now. I'm definitely going to watch the rest of the Acolyte. I want to see how it shakes out. It's just
you
too
kept
bad.
telling me, you gotta watch it. You gotta watch it. And
I wanted you to see it so we can have this conversation.
Oh no, I get it. But I was just like, you know what? It just wasn't on my radar, And so finally I had some time today and I was like, you know what? I'm going to sit down. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to figure this thing out. And I think I have. I think I have everything I need from this show. I don't think there's anything else this show can offer. I hope it has some, some cool stuff, because I mean, they do come up with like cool little gadgets and cool ship designs and cool things here and there. So that's cool, but that doesn't excuse just bad story, bad writing.
No, I agree. It doesn't. Guys, that's going to do it for the show. I think we've talked enough about Star Wars for one night that we can kind of put to rest how we feel about the Acolyte.
Yeah.
Am I going to watch the show? Yeah, I am going to watch the show. I'm going to see how it ends. I want to see where it goes. But I hope they do better. Be better.
Be better.
Disney. Be better. Because they need to. Because the shit's getting stupid.
They really do. They need to sort of regroup and say, you know what? I don't agree with Bob Iger in that, it's saturated or anything like that, but they do need to release quality over quantity. And that's true with Star Wars. That's true with the Marvel shows. That's true with everything that Disney's putting out. They need to just kind of slow it down a little bit and actually give a fuck and go through more drafts, have fresh eyes look on it and say, hey, you know what? This doesn't work. Or that doesn't work, or whatever, but because right now it seems like the Rise of Skywalker, where it's just like here to here to here to here to here, and don't stop to pay attention because we really don't know what the fuck we're doing.
Yeah, I agree. They need to step up their game and figure shit out and just churn out more quality content, even if it takes longer to make. You just gotta fucking do it. So that's all I gotta say about that. Guys, we'll see you hopefully next week for another episode of Nickatina Live when I'm joined by Ryan of Zero Effect Comics. Check out his Instagram. He's got a bunch of stuff for his upcoming comic called The Nephilim.
Yep.
It's a really cool concept. It's on Instagram. All the concept art, all of the drawings that he's done. So definitely check that out and follow him on Instagram as well to get updates on his new solo comic that he's working on. And I think you're done with all the drawings, right?
I'm done with the drawing stage. I'm just going back over it, kind of refining, picking up things where I missed, and I'll be done with that this weekend completely, and then I'll start coloring it, and then it'll be done. And yeah, like I said, with critiquing Star Wars and story and all that kind of stuff, that's me putting something out there that I can get critiqued on, and I put my money where my mouth is. And say, hey, you know what? Can he write a story or can he not? So we'll see.
We shall see. And until next time, you guys, stay nerdy, as Dawson would say. But yeah, anyway.
What you like. Don't
like what you like. Don't let anyone tell you who to jerk off to.
Oh, God.
All right, guys. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.